everybody, it's Anna. I just got back from the theater from seeing Blade Runner 2049. Now, I am not an old school Blade Runner junkie. I had actually never even seen Blade Runner until recently. And that was due to wanting to have some sort of backstory before seeing 2049. Because although you've seen possibly my La La Land review where you think I don't like Ryan Gosling, I do like him. It's just I didn't like La La Land. So I was excited to see Blade Runner 2049. So I wanted to get myself a little catch up. Now, on the other hand, my dad, who I take with me to the movies all the time, has never seen Blade Runner. And he was just in for the action adventure. So we see the movie, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. We leave the theater, and he says to me, I'm normally pretty good at following these, but I have no clue what just happened. And I don't know if that's really a fair assertion about the film, but it does kind of fall into the complexity that this Blade Runner film has. It's not a simple one-note film. There's a lot of different pieces coming and going. Ryan Gosling's character is the central character, which is good. And obviously Harrison Ford's Decker is back and is central to the story, but he's not the main character. And his transformation through the film is not what we're worried about. He doesn't really make much of a change to who he is. You see more of that from Gosling's character than you do from Mr. Ford. So, that being said, the film has some of the most beautiful visuals I've seen in a while. And I know I complimented Ghost in the Shell for this futuristic look, but I think Blade Runner 49 actually nails it better. It is extremely visual. The colors, the landscapes, despite the fact that there's no real plant life or anything like that, you still are getting just really rich tones of orange and yellow throughout the film. And I think that that really plays in well to this desolation and the constant raining in Los Angeles, as well as the more desert atmosphere when they're in Las Vegas. So I think scenery-wise, it's a masterpiece, an absolute masterpiece. The music is extremely strong. And when I say strong, I don't mean like, oh, they're beautiful songs. I mean like, it's strong. It's like boom, boom, a lot of that. So it hits you really hard. It feels like it's really loud, which kind of, drills home a little bit the emotional side of the film, which is actually a stronger portion of the film. The whole action adventure portion of this is not as prevalent as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more shoot 'em up, beat 'em up, that type of thing. And it wasn't. It was the human drama or replicant drama that more takes center stage. And, I don't think, just as a note, I don't think this movie answers the question of whether or not Decker's a replicant. Sorry. I don't think they meant to. I don't think they're even going to address that because I don't think he's a replicant. Okay? He's a human. Just let that go, guys. Just let it go. Okay? So, I mean, visually very pretty. Gosling is wonderful in it. He really does a great performance. Leto as the villain, I mean, he's kind of the villain, but he doesn't get a lot to do. He does some bad guy stuff, and he kind of sets a lot of things into motion, but in terms of being like this central baddie that you get some screen time with, he really just doesn't have it. He's the underlying problem because of what he's after, but he's really not on screen a lot. You don't get a lot of Leto, which I never understand why these films keep giving Leto so few minutes of screen time. He's incredible. I don't understand it, but whatever. So in that respect, you don't get as strong of a villain plot. It seems pretty paper on that sense. However, the big twist in the film, I thought I had figured out. I even whispered to my dad, like I was betting on ice cream afterwards because I was thinking, I got this. And then I was wrong because it was a little more complicated than I thought it was. And then when I thought back to the film, they told you You just didn't catch it. So if you go see it, I really recommend you pay attention to what they're saying, because you will figure it out a lot easier than I did, because I was getting all cocky and was all like, yeah, I got this. And I was wrong. I was very wrong. So I recommend seeing it. Especially if you like the first Blade Runner. It's got kind of a similar feel, but it's a very different film. It does draw from the original story. So if you've not seen the original Blade Runner, I recommend seeing that first, just to give yourself a little bit more of a base of who these characters are. So you're not like my dad walking out going, I don't get it. Okay? Which I'm sure you can watch Blade Runner anywhere. I mean, it's everywhere. It's not that bad of a film. Just spend the time and watch it. It is, however, Blade Runner 2049 is a very long film. We went to a 12:30 showing, and with trailers, don't get me wrong, there were trailers. With trailers, we were there until 3:30. So it is not a short film by any stretch of the imagination. So give yourself the time for it. Pacing wise, it's kind of slow, actually. It's a little more thought out, it feels like. Instead of everything being rushed and da 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 da, it was much slower. So if those types of films don't do it for you, you might not be okay in this either. Me personally, it took me a little bit to adjust, because I was thinking I was getting fast-paced action, and I wasn't. So bear that in mind when you go to see it. Now, as for my scoring, like I said, the visuals, the music, exceptional. Mr. Gosling did a great job. Okay, he redeemed himself from La La Land, even though he was not the problem. But overall, as a film, it can be hard to get into if you don't already like the Blade Runner series, for the mere fact that the story is complicated. So, with that in mind, and my own struggling to even understand, with having seen the first one, I'm gonna go 3, and I'm gonna give a half. I'm gonna half. I don't know if that's a half. 3.5 glasses of wine to Blade Runner 2049. Check it out, but please make sure you hit up the first one first, so you understand a little bit about the characters and the backstory. So, 3.5 out of 5 glasses of wine for Blade Runner 2049. Check the film out. Let me know in the comments what you think of it. Also, let me know what films you want me to review. I said read. I'm thinking books for today because I was reading earlier. But think about what movies you want me to review. Let me know in the comments. Give me some suggestions. So until next time, you guys have a great week.